Hello everyone and welcome back to another Figurehead Reviews video, and today we are going to be taking a look at the Black Panther 2-pack, Everett Ross and Killmonger. If I'm not mistaken, this is a Target exclusive. At least that is where I got it. I'm pretty sure it is, but Target doesn't actually put anything on here, unlike Walmart, Toys R Us, and Walgreens. They don't call out their exclusives, which is weird to me. But anyway, we have them in the front window box here. On this side, we get a picture of Bilbo Baggins, and then on this side, we do get Killmonger. Oddly enough, we get him with his mask on, which I thought they would have wanted to emphasize more the unmasked head that we didn't get before. And then on the back, we get a product shot of these two here. While Everett Ross is assigned to escort T'Challa to American soil, Erik Killmonger threatens the security of the Wakandan borders from which T'Challa hails. And then on the bottom, you do have the UPC code, so you can check with your local Target to see if they have this in stock. But enough about that. Let's get this open and take a look at Everett Ross and Erik Killmonger. And here is Ross and Killmonger outside of the packaging. And technically, we got two reused body molds here. We have the Coulson body mold, or Chameleon, whichever figure you might have it in. But we get that reused suit body, and then we have seen a Killmonger before. So this is another Killmonger figure, albeit with some different paint, and it looks like a different plastic used in the molding, which we'll kind of go over when we do get the closer looks. We do have a decent amount of accessories that we're going to take a look at. The pistol there for Ross, we got some swords, and some alternate hands for Killmonger. So we'll get a better look at those, and then we're going to get a closer look at the figures themselves. And here are all the extra accessories that come with Everett Ross and Killmonger. So we get an extra pair of hands for Killmonger, and these are just going to be the hands for holding on to the swords and the various weapons, and they fit in just fine, so you won't have any problem there. And of course, they are just standard hands to take in and out. The other hands being these open claw hands, which we'll get a closer look at once we get a better look at the figure. We get the same sword that we got with the other Killmonger. I mentioned, I think, that it looked like an orc sword from like Lord of the Rings. I still kind of think that. But no real change there. It's just, the wrap and whatnot. And then, of course, we have the spear as well, which they did actually do less detailing on this one. If I'm not mistaken, we had some paint on a couple of different spots. Matter of fact, just a second, let me go grab that. We're going to take a look at that. So yeah, this is the spear that came with the Okoye wave, and we can see that we did get less detailing with this new one, which is really weird. You would think that they would have just done the same thing, but we don't get the brown wraps detailed on this new one. Otherwise, they're essentially identical, but yeah, that's kind of weird. Whatever. And then we do have a pistol for Everett Ross, and actually it's pretty decent looking, and it does fit in quite nicely. The only thing I noticed, oh, no, actually, just kidding. I thought it was the trigger finger didn't quite fit in there, but nope, fits in just fine and actually looks really good. So we actually get a realistic gun finally for a Marvel Legend, which, yeah, I think that's great. But let's go ahead now and get a better look at the two figures. And starting first here with Killmonger and the Michael B. Jordan head sculpt. And honestly, I gotta say, this is one of the better MCU head sculpts that we've seen. It still lacks any type of emotion, which has always been one of my complaints from these digital scans, is that we don't get kind of any sort of action faces, angry or anything. They're always very calm. But the likeness on this one is just very solid, and honestly, it looks very much like Michael B. Jordan. We do see, again, some of the dots from that digital printing technique, especially around his mustache and the beard there. But the way they did the hair sculpting, as well as just the overall design of the face, I think I said that the Scarlett Johansson one at the time was one of the better ones. This might be one of the best MCU head sculpts. It just came out looking really good, so very cool. But let's go ahead now real quick. We're going to take a look at the other head sculpt, and then we're going to look at the rest of the figure. And here we are with the other head sculpt, which of course is the Killmonger Black Panther version. And this Black Panther, or I'm sorry, this Killmonger Looks to me like he is the charged up version, the kinetic energy that his suit has where it glows gold before he lets out one of those attacks. So we get some of the more vibrant gold paint on the face. We actually get a less vibrant gold necklace, and I'm going to show you here in a moment too some of the other changes from this Killmonger to the Okoye wave. But then we can see on the body, we have, again, the illuminated, or not illuminated, but the charged up gold throughout the figure. The dots and the lines now getting a paint treatment pretty much all the way up and down the figure as we go onto the hands, the legs, but oddly enough, not the feet. You'll notice, too, that this isn't as black in terms of the suit. It's more of a gray. When you're looking at it, and to show you a comparison here, there is the Okoye wave that was very much dark and almost had that camouflage look to the inside versus more of a gray look for this one. And you can see too the necklace that I was talking about is much more gold in the Okoye wave versus that one. And I actually kind of preferred, if you notice, the gold dry brushing goes further back on the Okoye wave than it does on this new one. The new one just stops the face, whereas this one you do actually get it to continue on down a little bit. But we can see it is the same body mold, but like I said, now just all those dots and lines getting that gold treatment. The only thing that I thought was weird too is we got gold on the Okoye wave's feet, but not on this charged up version. So it was kind of weird that they did that. But looking real quick at some of the other features, we got the clawed hands that I talked about, which came out pretty decent, and you have the gold tip on the claws themselves. And overall, again, just a cool looking figure. Yeah, I like it. I think it came out pretty decent, and I think this is going to be the one I'm going to use for action poses, considering he's meant to be, like I said, the charged up one. And the Wave 2 Black Panther, we're going to get a purple charged up, vibranium charged Black Panther, so that'll look cool with these two together. And here we have Everett Ross, another MCU character, and another very plain-faced performance. In this case, we have the actor Martin Freeman doing the face scan for this. And while the scan came out actually really well also, again, I mentioned that the Michael B. Jordan and the Scarlett Johansson ones came out really good. This one actually came out pretty well also. And yeah, I think it looks good. We're going to change the lighting a little bit. I feel like it's getting a little washed out. The hair came out good, but you can see a little bit of gaps there at the top near the forehead, or at least a very distinct area where the hair is glued on. But looking at the figure up close, yeah, it's actually really well done. I like it. He does have, actually, now that I'm looking at it, looks like the left side of his lips are almost up in kind of a smirk, and that looks intentional. You get a little bit more sculpting over there on that side, it looks like, around his mouth, but yeah, I think that came out looking really good. The rest of the figure we've seen before. This is just the suit that we've seen with Coulson, we saw with Chameleon. It is part of the Marvel Unlimited exclusive Tony Stark, which is just a repaint. This is the first time that I've seen it in this color combination. I think it's the first time we've gotten it in this color combination, which is sort of a light blue undershirt and then the gray for the jacket. And we do have black shoes. So it's actually a good looking suit, and I can see a lot of people wanting to pick this up to try some different head sculpts on it. So why don't we just go ahead and take a look right now and see what some other heads look like on this new color variation to a classic body mold. So first we have the unmasked Daredevil that came with the Walgreens exclusive Daredevil, and this one not so much. I never realized how apparently Mr. Murdock hit the tanning booth, because that neck definitely does not line up with the color scheme. So it might look a little odd, and even the hands, you can see, yeah, that color difference. So that's kind of a bummer. This was one of my more hopeful ones. Maybe from a distance, oh wow, no. From a distance it's quite noticeable. All right, let's see who else we got. Sticking with the MCU theme, here is the Tony Stark from the Civil War 3-pack that had the battle-damaged Spider-Man, or I'm sorry, the battle-damaged Iron Man and Captain America, as well as the Spider-Man from Civil War. And we can see that skin tone is a much closer match and actually works pretty well. So if you did want a suited Tony Stark from the MCU, you could put that head on there, and yeah, I think that works well. The skin tones, there's a slight difference in the skin tone, but it's definitely not as noticeable as it was there with the that Daredevil head. I figured we'd take a look at the Chameleon figure real quick as far as some of the other head sculpts that came with it. So you have the mob boss here, Hammerhead. So that actually works well. So if you want to have him in a different colored suit, so that if you went out and bought multiple Chameleons so that you could display all the technical figures that you got with that, this could give you a little bit of a variation. And the skin tone, again, it's not a perfect match, but it's pretty close. Let's go ahead and take a look at Jameson real quick. And here's J. Jonah Jameson yelling for more pictures of Spider-Man. And actually that one works out quite nicely as well. So if you wanted Jameson to be in a different suit, that actually works. And yeah, I don't think it looks too bad. And again, you have a skin tone that is close enough that I don't think anyone would really notice any difference. So actually, that one's not too bad if you did want to get, like I said, a different color there for Jameson. And the last one I wanted to try was this comic book version of Tony Stark that we got with the Invincible Iron Man. And it's kind of not showing up as much here, but there's a bit of a color variation. It still works. There is one problem, however. This head, the ball joint is too big for this particular head, so it's kind of just resting on there, but thankfully it seems to be decent enough that it doesn't look too high on the peg. So if you did want a suited version of that, and you can actually even probably try to push it down a little bit, maybe. I mean, you can actually push it down enough to where it stays on a little bit, but you'll notice barely even had to touch his chin and it came off, so that is kind of a bummer. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look now at the scale and articulation. And taking a look at Everett Ross, we see he's coming in at just about the 6-inch mark, or right on the 6-inch mark. So normal scale that we have for our legends. So looking at the head, we have full rotation all the way around. He could bury his chin that far, can look up that far. He does have arms that can go up only about that far before the sleeve will catch on the body mold. He does have a bicep swivel, a double jointed elbow, and he does have rotation. Boy, there we go. Rotation, and there is a hinge at the wrist. He does have an ab crunch under here, which can get him that far forward and that far backwards. And the jacket's not really stopping that from happening, actually, so that's pretty good. He does have waist rotation, a leg that can go forward. Oh, there we go. Leg that can go forward that far, back, yeah, not really at all. He does have a upper thigh cut, double jointed elbow, and he does have a ankle hinge and pivot. He does have a little bit of limitation there on how far the foot can go forward due to that pant leg, though. And looking at the scale, we can see Killmonger is coming in at about 6 1/4 inches tall, so he's a little bit taller. We do have a head that can go all the way around, bury his chin pretty far, but we get that same type of gap that we had on the other Killmonger figure. He can look up, not too shabby. His arms can go up, but mine were really stiff. And boy, yeah, and I think that's about, you can get a T-pose out of him, so that's good. And you do have full rotation, of course, all the way around, as well as a butterfly joint, again, similar to the other Killmonger figure. He does have a upper bicep swivel, double jointed elbow, and he does have on both hands rotation and a hinge. He does have an ab crunch that can look down pretty far, back pretty far, waist rotation, legs that can go apart pretty far, forward, backwards. Does have a upper thigh cut, double jointed knee, and then he does have, of course, hinge and ankle pivot. And for a quick comparison here, we have the new Killmonger next to the Okoye Wave Killmonger, and I put the Michael B. Jordan head on the Okoye Wave, and actually I think that is how I'm going to display it. Since I mentioned this one is meant to be more of the charged up, or the kinetic charged up version of Killmonger, he's going to be my action pose, and I just think that looks really good with the Michael B. Jordan head on that head sculpt, since this is the decharged body, so to speak, so the plain looking face is going to look better if it's not intending to be an action pose. So but again, you can see the color variations as well in the plastics between these two figures, but overall, yeah, good looking figure. And here's another shot of Killmonger and Everett Ross standing next to each other, and you can see Killmonger does have that small height advantage, but otherwise that's a good looking 2-pack. And that about does it for this review, everyone. And overall, I think it is a it's a cool 2-pack. I think getting Everett Ross was certainly a worthy addition. I like seeing some of these supporting characters being included when we get these sets, so I think that is cool. Getting another Killmonger figure, I don't know. I mean, it's definitely worth it for the unmasked Michael B. Jordan head. I think that was a cool addition. But I feel like they could have just included that with the Okoye Wave, and maybe this 2-pack could have been, Ross and maybe Shuri. I think might have been a little more worthwhile. I mean, it is cool that we do get the charged up, the vibranium charged up version of Killmonger, so that will make for some better action poses, a little more realistic to the movie. But again, I really wish that we would have had something a little different to flesh out more MCU characters. But again, I think it is still worth it. And like I said, that Michael B. Jordan head, really well sculpted, well done. So a nice addition to that set. So, but anyway, as I mentioned, that is it for the review, guys. If you do want to get this figure, I've seen it at Target. I believe it is a Target exclusive. So make sure to stop by and pick that up. But aside from that, make sure to hit that like button if you did like this video. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you think. And make sure you subscribe. I'm doing more videos just like this. I have a couple of different waves that'll be coming up soon. But aside from that, thanks for watching my video and have a great day.